says that he's some kind of priest or something. So I make a phone call, and somebody answers and said, well, hold on just a second, let me just get up. And then it was quiet, and then come on, I said, yeah, and so and so, but I want to let somebody else tell the story before that. Here's Micah.
Assalamu alaikum. First, I'd like to say it's wonderful to be here. I started researching. I was the youngest bishop ever ordained in the Pentecostal Church. I've been a bishop since I was 25, and I'm really old now. And but I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was in the hospital. And I figured, you know, I'm here, I could just do more research because I was trapped, I couldn't go anywhere. So when you're trapped, you're going to do whatever you can to pass time. So I went on the computer and looked Muslim or Christians converting to Muslim. And I see my friend here. It was, and you know, he's a character, but you know, I'm blessed to say that he's my friend. But I started watching it and started watching and watching, and I sent him an email. Well, instead of the email going directly to him, the email went to Pakistan. So I ended up having to stay in the hospital an extra week, which is a good thing because he didn't receive the email yet. And so I was down to where I could hardly walk, and I got out of the hospital on Saturday. Well, on Sunday, I just said, I can't do this anymore, and I had my son help me to the floor. And all I knew to do was what I seen in the video. And that was to put my head down. And I said, God, I don't understand anything that is going on, but you have to guide me on what to do. See, I've been on television. I've been all over the world for 30 years. I was a bishop, and I had 51 churches. And I was one of the ones that stood out in front of the masjid that was being built in our home, picketing, saying, do not allow the Muslims to come here. And that was me. And not just that, I would go overseas trying to convert Muslims.
Wait a minute, now you went overseas. You went overseas to convert Muslims.
Right.
Okay. And how many years were you over there?
About 25, 30 years off and on. I go back and forth.
Right. All right, now the next question. How many did you get to convert?
We got 5 to convert. And the reason why...
5,000? 500?
Just 5. And the reason why is because they didn't have a salah. They didn't have a prayer life. No prayer. So while I was at home, then my phone rang. I answered the phone, and he introduced himself, and I said, oh, wait a minute, I have to get up. So I had to get my son to help me off the floor. Now see, understand this. I just prayed and said, I don't understand what to do. Guide me, God. You have to guide me, because I only knew Christianity. And everything that I had been taught about the Muslim faith was their demons. I remember as a child, my mother, my first encounter with Muslims, my mother grabbed me, these are devil people, get over here. That was the first thing that my first encounter. So I spoke to him on Sunday. He said, I'd like for you to come to California. So on Tuesday, I flew out to Burbank. You know, Sheikh Yusuf did not plow on me and just say, oh, you've got to become Muslim. You've got to. He never once said that to me. When I got off of the airplane and I am coming off trying to find Sheikh Yusuf, which Sheikh Yusuf was lost. He went to a different airport than what I showed up in. But the first thing he done to me was he walked out the car, and all I seen was this really tall, old Muslim man standing there with his arms opened up like this. What in the world am I getting myself into? He come and put his arms around me. I've seen his son-in-law. He had a big old beard, and I'm riding in the car. I'm like, oh my goodness. What have I just done? So all day Tuesday we hung out. All day Wednesday we hung out and went to prayer, everything. By 10 o'clock Wednesday night, I couldn't deal with it anymore. I said, I want to do this Shahada.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
I'd done my Shahada. And I'll never forget it. It was at 10 o'clock on Wednesday evening, outside in the driveway, and it was cold. I'd done my Shahada. And I tell this everywhere that I go. As a Christian, we preach forgiveness. We do. You know. But they said, you just have to have faith that you've been forgiven. For the very first time in my entire life, 30 years, I felt forgiven. When I done my Shahada for the first time, I felt like I've been forgiven. And I haven't been the same since then. I look at everybody as a potential Muslim. I don't look at them as, oh, you're just a guest. No, you're a potential Muslim. And everywhere I go, just like I did when I was a Christian, I tell everyone about Islam. Everyone.
MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
2 months and 2 days. We're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back with more from Lost Wages.